All right, we're live. And by we, I mean you and I. Bandy, good to see you with your jumping spider. Open the door. The door is open. Um, gonna go live tomorrow as well with Jir and Michael and working on another guest. Hopefully he can join, but might have COVID, this guest. So speedy recovery and hopefully maybe tomorrow he's feeling good. Um was able to get off a little bit early from work today. I've got Bluey the musical with my son and wife tonight. So if you know anything about Bluey the musical, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I don't know. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's a musical. Anyways, whatever. We'll move on to Leeds United, the Mighty Whites, and everything going on in that universe. I just started looking at the possible injury news, injury updates. Hey, Cheers here. Cheer, I was just pumping up that we will be doing a stream tomorrow. So looking forward to that as well. But it looks like just looking at some scouting Arsenal, which is going to be it's going to be a free hit, isn't it? There's 5 of you here. Just go ahead and smash the like. It just kicks the algorithm on and lets people know that you know I am here. Biggest thing you can do is subscribe. We're going to try to pump up the subscriber content in the next few months, or the subscriber push. But I was looking at Arsenal. It looks like Thomas Partey is going to be a doubt. Tierney's going to be a doubt. Eddie Nketiah is supposed to be back. He's doing some work. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus is back. Whether he's 90 minutes fit, I think, is a question. I'm not expecting Willie Nanto to be ready for this game. It'll be interesting to see what news comes out tomorrow. I'm hopeful that it's that he avoided something more catastrophic, and it seems like that's where they're headed. Wober, I think, out of all of them, is going to be okay. It just seems like that. Soft tissue injury, possible hamstring, right? And then Adams. The thing about Adams is it's an interesting one for me because it came out early that it was a hamstring injury, and then it comes out that it's it's something more significant that you have to have surgery on. You don't really hear about hamstring surgery a lot. So that tells me something like it was more hamstring ligament. And if it's hamstring ligament, obviously he's probably out for the season, as they said. And I think realistically, ligament wise, they take a long time to heal. He might miss time the following year. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see as that gets more revealed. Obviously, you know, Javi is more close to the vest on injuries. Um, I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how the USMNT reveals that injury and Leeds United reveal that injury. Hey, Joe. Good to see you. Just catching up on comments. Good evening, all. Looking forward to tomorrow. Yes, Jerry. Yep. We're going to be streaming tomorrow with Michael, getting the band back together, kind of previewing this Arsenal game and really the upcoming run, which is really amazing because they've got Forest the following Tuesday. So it's going to come thick and fast. Jason, good to see you. 9 of you, just go ahead and smash the like as you come in and subscribe if you're not subscribed. So, that's really the injury news. Let's move forward a little bit, and I'm probably going to do about 30 minutes here. And we're 5 minutes in. But Adams, if you can guarantee, so obviously it is devastating to me as as a fan of him, as a fan of his game, as a fan of who he represents, how he carries himself on and off the field. He's been our best player at times this season. So it's devastating on all those fronts. It's devastating to me also because I think he's a safety net. He covers the back line so well. But if you could guarantee me Rockin' McKinney for the next 10 games to be available, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We all know that it's after Rocca and McKinney, it's very threadbare. You're looking at young players in Jabby and Gray. I have not looked at Jabby in this new system. Obviously, I know he's been dominating the U21s. When we were able to get a peek at him in the Marsh system, he was probably the midfielder that, at least to me, enjoyed getting forward the most, and also forgot his forgot his defensive responsibilities. And I think you saw us getting opened up a little bit in the first leg of the FA Cup with Cardiff, because Darko was so incredible going forward, created a lot of chances, but also did not protect the back line enough. I think you saw a lot of 6s and 7s as far as what was going on. And obviously Strouk had a nightmare defensively, really kind of readjusting to his center back position. So I think that Javi's going to set this team up for success. I like, hopefully, Darko learning some new responsibilities, and he's going to be called upon. We do have to start to have that next man up mentality, and put in a shift. No matter what your age is, no matter who you are in this team, you're going to be called on down the stretch, and there's going to be probably more injuries as we continue to go on. Guys will come in, guys will come out. So it's just the way it is. At some point, hopefully, I would love to see Nanto and Sinistera on the field at the same time. I don't know if we've seen that, but I would love to see it. Maybe just in flashes, because I know Cindy's been back a little bit, but it's been 5 minutes? I think it was like 29 seconds or something crazy like that. So, look, I think for me, I'm swallowing a big gulp and going, okay, if Rock and McKinney, I know he's also getting close to the yellow card limit with McKinney, but and I almost don't want him. If he's not fully fit, if he's got some sort of bug, it's almost like, because Arsenal's a free hit, you almost don't want to see him pick up a stupid yellow card in that game. But he's really got to go. He's got to be able to go. And welcome back. The United States almost had like a spring break. I'm not sure. I don't think they treated it like that, but I mean, they went to Grenada, they went to this tropical island. They beat a team. They beat Grenada 7-1. Then they went on to El Salvador 1-0. McKinney had a lovely line-breaking pass that I suggest you take a look at, and we want to see more of that going forward. So, yeah, so I'm comfortable-ish in midfield, but I'm not. It's a safety net. The other thing is, I just always kind of go back to this, but Jack Harrison, it's like you can't get rid of him. You can't get rid of Jack Harrison. I mean, here's Sinistera's coming back healthy, and we're going, well, Jack's probably going to go to the bench. Well, Nanto picks up an injury and Jack's back into the fold. He's just a player that I know a lot of people want to see. He's maybe reached the peak of his powers, we're all thinking, but at the same time, he's a safety net. He's an insurance policy, and I'm glad that we did not get rid of him, because just injuries happen throughout the course of the season. So, let's see here. What do I think is going to happen in the Arsenal game? I just want to catch up on your comments. Forshaw. What do I think about Forshaw? Is he available? Is he available? I think people like his profile because he's similar to size and he retains the ball, he recycles the ball. Yes, absolutely. Sure. If Forshaw was available, throw him in there. I just don't think we can get a guy from literally the rehab room back into the fold. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he's been practicing. So I mean, the man, he's thinking about retirement. I mean, if you listen to Jeer, he had some reports that this might be his final season. He goes into coaching. So, it's a bit like maybe worse than counting on Bamford before Bamford came back, and we all thought his career might have been at least as a Leeds United player possibly done. So he would be great to have. We need more depth. He would be a great option to have, absolutely. And he does control the ball through possession and makes smart passes. He's not a player that where sometimes we got frustrated with Adams just giving up the ball too easily or making the pass or being too frantic. I think Forshaw is a cool head for sure. He'd be a great player to have sub on for sure. What do I think the Arsenal game is going to look like? And it'll be interesting to break this down with Jared Michael. I think we're going to see another game similar to Brighton, right? It's going to be very static press, congest the middle. The problem is that I think Brighton likes to express themselves centrally. I think that Arsenal can do it centrally. They can do it on both wings, and right away you're looking at matchups of Saka and Martinelli on our fullbacks, Junior Firpo and Ailing. So both of those would worry you. It'll be interesting to see how Javi sets us up. It'll probably look a lot like Brighton, where the foot's on the ball. Now, luckily, this game's not at home. So, there's not going to be a lot of, the whole stadium's not going to be cheering for us to press the ball or go too early. I think there'll be patience involved in this game, and they've got to come and break us down. And so that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for guys to put in a shift, fight for the jersey, fight for each other, and be patient on the ball. Now, obviously, they played Everton, who kind of did this tactic before that worked out well, and then it didn't work out well. They did spend about 40 minutes breaking them down. Even in the second leg that came was 4-0. So if we can make it a game going into halftime, you're optimistic. But it is a free hit. But every single point is important. Let me just catch up on the comments. Let's see. It's a shame that we never get to see Forshaw run a decent partnership or a decent Premier League player. Yeah, I mean, even the promotion season he was injured, right? So he just had he's had a rough go. And good guy, great guy, leader, I think, on the team, and probably had the makings of a Premier League talent, but just for whatever reason couldn't put it together. Here, Joe. Yeah. If Wober isn't available, which is probably a probability, do you go with Cooper? Is that the partnership that you go with? Probably. I think Strauk is still probably going to back up Firpo at this point. It'll be interesting to see how Javi sets the team up, how they really compress the midfield. If what that looks like, if it's a 4 if it's a 4-3-3, if it's a 3-5. I don't know what that's going to look like, but it would be a great game to have Adams, McKinney, and Rocca all on the same field at the same time. But that's the way it goes. Let me see. I agree. I think it'll be similar to Brighton passive press. Well, as you call it, the static press. Adams a big loss, but if Rocca and McKinney stay fit, you're okay with it. Yeah, you're like comfortable with Rocca and Adams, or Rocca and McKinney. If you can stay. Love Forshaw, desperately unlucky with injuries. Hasn't had a run in since the first year up, tidy on the ball. Yes, agree with that. Doesn't lose it and can defend well. I think Cooper starts if Wober is out. Yeah, that's who I'd go with. You want leadership, especially in that game. You want leadership. Prefer Strauch. Yeah, I think the only reason why you don't start Strauch is you love his mobility, but I think he's probably still backing up Firpo, if that makes any sense. He's still got a little bit of his mind on that. And it's two different responsibilities. I mean, you're just positionally different when you've been a fullback for most of the year. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting, especially as the game goes on, to see what he does with substitutes. You gotta expect that Jabby comes on, Darko Jabby comes on at some point, just because of that extra midfielder. But he's a young kid, and I don't know who, if Nanto is out, I don't know who can come on late. Is it gonna be a Jorginho that can come on late? Is it going to be, you start Rodrigo this game? Is Rodrigo ready to rock and roll? Do you play two strikers at some point? Is it 4-4-2? I don't know. It's going to be a real interesting game. And the tactical flexibility of Javi is just something that you love to see. I'm going to bring up a triggering name for everybody. Oh, wait. Karen, the woman that said that we got promoted due to COVID. Let me look it up. I want to make sure that I get it right. And I might link this up as well. I've got like Tierney, Kearney, I think, and I don't want to say it wrong. Carney. Karen Carney. She has a really decent breakdown on the Premier League channel, and they linked it up in NBC Sports here in America, where she breaks down Javi's kind of tactics, specifically against Wolves and against Brighton. And she talks about his ability to pack the midfield. And I know we all are triggered by her because she said we were promoted during COVID, etc. And we tried to cancel her on Twitter. And I think she wound up leaving. So some of that is like, I think we need to do better as a fan base to not abuse someone on social media. And then part of that is, if you're wrong, you need to stand up and say, you know what, I was, I appreciate your comments, but I don't agree. But anyways, nonetheless, she gave us a decent review of Javi online, and I would recommend taking a peek at it just because of the tactical analysis by her. And I don't see the other person that did it, but it's pretty good. And they look at tape here, and they talk about how the certain signals when to press and when not to press, and the ability to make it just more difficult. The other thing that's really, do not forget, in this relegation battle, that's 3 points separate 9 teams or something crazy like that. What is it? We're like 2 points from the drop zone right now. And we're all basically on pretty similar level points with 10 to go. We are tied with Leicester for goal difference. That's why we are 14th. We are 14th on goal difference. So if for whatever reason, it's probably not going to happen, but if for whatever reason, this comes down to goal difference, it will act as a point. Do not kid yourself. If we're not going for it necessarily down to against Arsenal, I'm probably not going to be upset at Javi. I think that the goal difference, and again, it's unlikely. Like we're probably not going to get to the level of what Forest. I mean, Forest is their goal difference is mad. But if it for whatever reason is between Leicester and us, that will act as a point. So do not kid yourself. Goal difference, that's why we are 14th. It is acting as a point now. So that's going to continue to be, I think, a story and something that I don't know. I think Javi, at least in the club, are aware of. So just don't kid yourself there. Even though this is not necessarily the beautiful game that we've been playing. Karen Carney, thanks, Jira. I knew somebody was going to shout it out. As long as they stay in the blog at Leeds United, The View. I don't know how that woman gets work. Look, I live in a free society. We are allowed to say what we want. When we come out and say what we want, when we come out and say something, whatever, like when we were to make fun, if we were to make fun of Scum, if we were to like all this stuff, and a Man United fan base were to come into my, like, I actually got interesting, like, into it with Newcastle fans after the Newcastle draw. Like, they were upset. They were called us time wasters, but it's like, you want to they were making fun of me. They were calling me all different types of names. So I think there's a balance there where it's like we can have a go at each other online, but we don't necessarily need to be like, we have to be able to talk, and whether it's discourse through social media or discourse through other means, I think that's fine too. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you're entitled to that opinion. I don't think I have any, I don't think that take was too great, but I also am like, okay, there's a ton of pundits that have had terrible takes. I mean, flip on Talk Sport and try to get a Leeds United take that's halfway decent. I mean, they obviously don't watch the games. I'll tell you another one, ESPN FC. I mean, those guys don't watch the games. They don't watch Leeds United. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just throwing darts at the board, especially down at the bottom of the table. Like, if you watch any kind of like take on who's going to get relegated this season, they're just throwing darts. They don't watch these games. They haven't watched a Forest game. They haven't watched Leeds game. They haven't watched Everton. They're concerned about the traditional top 6, top 7, and the, other top teams in Europe. That's all that they really have time for. And if you're not in that universe, then they're just going, yeah, Javi Gracia, yeah, he was okay. I think he did a good job at Bournemouth, so Leeds will stay up, or oh, Sean Dyche, yeah, he's comfortable here. Everything's good. Oh, well, like, they're not actually breaking down the tactics and the depths and who's starting on these teams. So, take it all with a grain of salt, as they say. Sweet, caught you live. Yeah, Tom. All right. It's been about 25, coming up on 25 minutes. Thanks everybody for joining me. I guess in summary, it's a little bit of a free hit. It'll be interesting to see what they do in setting up the team. I like the fact that their midfielder, Thomas Partey, is probably not going to participate in this game. They're going to have questions as they do over striker, but I don't think that'll slow them down. And then Tierney's not going to be playing, but I think they're fine at their fullback position. And then the big worry, I think, is on the wings. Martinelli and Saka on Junior Firpo Luke Ayling? How is Javi going to protect the wings, but then also protect, without completely abandoning the middle of the field where they can also do damage? And then, it's just going to be interesting to see again how he protects the center of the pitch with Adams being out. Obviously, you're going to go with Rock and McKinney, but how do you utilize space and get more people in that? Is it Aronson that's going to come down more? I don't know. It'll be an interesting tactical analysis, and then I think it's going to look a lot like the Brighton game. I think it's going to be a passive or static press. That'll be probably the model that both these teams are looking at. I'm sure Arsenal are breaking down the Brighton game. And yeah, it's going to be come break us down. Okay, here we go. And I think we can make a game of it. I think we can make a go of it. And again, it's not going to be beautiful, but it's what we need now. And goal difference, do not kid yourself, will be important. And that's it for me. And tomorrow night, Leeds United The View. Michael, who I haven't seen in a minute, it'd be great to see him. Jeer, Leeds United The View. We'll be breaking it down. I'm reaching out. I'm trying to get another guy on. He's got COVID, so we'll see if he can make it. And then, can't wait for this game. Premier League football is back, and long may that continue. And hopefully we can stay up and give it a go with 10 games to go or 14th, and we can absolutely top this little mini league that we're in. We can surpass Crystal Palace, and hopefully be securely mid-table. As long as everything continues. I won't jinx it. I won't jinx anything else. Marching on together. Leeds. Thanks everybody for coming in. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.